We need to have the capacity of intermediaries built. We need to have access to innovation and technological tools that allow us to do quick synthesis, but also make our members of parliament to quick access and use the information that is available for them, and reaching out to even the policymakers. We have members of parliament who are attending ESIC. They get to know what we are thinking, and we get to know what they are thinking. We're already building and bridging this relationship.
So thank you very much for joining me today, Josephine. But just to start with, could you please introduce yourself a little bit about yourself and also the space that you work in and how that relates with evidence-informed decision-making?
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure being here. So I'm Josephine Watera, once again. I work in the Parliament of Uganda, so my space is for policymakers. In the research department, we support committees and members of parliament to work with evidence. So what we do is to solicit or generate primary evidence. We do the translation where evidence is already available. We also do the knowledge brokering when the evidence is coming from, most times, like from outside parliament, like working with civil society, with academia to get the evidence through to committees of parliament. And we work with these committees all through from the point when they receive the evidence, but also to try and handhold to see if there was any challenge in using the evidence and if there's a different kind of source of evidence that they needed that we didn't pick. So we go all the way to even get feedback on what we have given to them. So I've been in this space for the last 18 years working in the parliament.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank you.
So, as someone that has been in this space for a long time and who's working in the parliament and supporting decision-making, right? What kinds of evidence or evidence synthesis output would you say are really relevant for the policy decision-making that you support or conduct?
Thank you. So ordinarily, most of the evidence synthesis generates into, or evaluations generates into big, technical reports. But the space that we work in, we work with members of parliament who come from different backgrounds. You have people from previous farmers, business personalities, housewives, people who were maybe teachers, primary school teachers, some who are fresh from the university or fresh from high school, coming in, and they have been voted by the people. And everybody who comes in there, we give them an equal chance to participate. And so we try to step up as much as possible for their case. So we work mostly with policy briefs, try to unpack the big evaluation reports into small policy briefs of around 4 pages. If we were to give the big report, it will be around 25 pages. The ones that we do proactive studies, these will go through committees. But even then, there will still be a backup of 4 pages just for them to get to know what is in this report. We work with what we call hot topics. So hot topics, it's 1-pager. We do synthesis of emerging things, emerging issues. When we have like World Health Day, we have World Environment Day, we'll pick a story from it and try to see what made this day to be put in place, what has Uganda done, what is the role of parliament, and what are the studies that we have done as a department where members of parliament can pick more information. So we call it hot topics. So we package it in 1-pager, but with links that members of parliament can tap and draw more reports from them. Lastly, we deal a lot with committee briefings. So every time members of parliament are going to have their committee meetings, we come in to have an engagement with committee chairpersons to try and unpack their agenda and see where they are in terms of the evidence on the issues that are on the agenda, so that in case there's any gap, we quickly jump in before the meetings start. So that's my space.
Oh, wow, that is really interesting. So, from what you're explaining, I sort of get a sense of you have to have a lot of relationship in your work, right?
Yes.
With the citizens, with the decision makers at your hand, right?
Exactly.
So with that, this space is really relational. And what do you see at this point as, something that should be improved around the relationship between the ones that produce the evidence and the decision makers? And at the same time, we're at the ESIC consensus meeting, right? So what do you would say ESIC could have, a role in bridging this challenge or gap, I would say? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about ESIC because one of the things that has come up strongly is the role of intermediaries. So we need to have the capacity of intermediaries built. We need to have access to innovation and technological tools that allow us to do quick synthesis, but also make our members of parliament to quick access and use the information that is available for them. But in terms of building relations, it's good that we have already started looking at interest groups and seeing who is on the table. So I like it. I like it that we have already started stretching out our hands and reaching out to even the policymakers. We have members of parliament who are attending ESIC, and it's a good point that they get to know what we are thinking, and we get to know what they are thinking, and get their voices to see, is this making sense? So I like it that we're already building and bridging this relationship. I think lastly, it will be an issue of institutionalization. So this is something that has come up also strongly in the meetings that I've been, privileged to facilitate. And people are pushing that we need to institutionalize some of these things so that we don't leave the aspirations of the roadmaps, the issues that are coming up in the charter somewhere on the shelf, but have everybody pick it up as part of their day-to-day work. So I think institutionalization is going to make a lot of difference also in building relationships when people get to know that this is not about them, but about us. Thank you.
Wow, well said, really. Just a final point, maybe. You have sort of touched on it, but just bringing it to a personal level, what one impact would you say would really excite you to have from ESIC as a personal life for you? And also maybe to the people of the globe, what kind of impact would excite you if ESIC would have in the future going forward?
Thank you. So one of the things that we struggle with as synthesists, as evaluators, especially from developing country, is accessing information sometimes that are behind wall pages. Some of the databases that we want to work with and make, our members of parliament take critical decisions are not accessible. And what ESIC is offering is to offer things that are open access, easy to engage with, easy to access. So we are having different stakeholders that have come on the table, and I think this is going to be a good space to start this conversation and say, if this evidence is for the public, it's for the citizens, why do you have us to, have to pay for it? So for me, I think that if we can, demystify the whole issue of there's nothing that is very scientific that needs to be hidden somewhere, and open up for everybody to access the evidence that they need when they need, I think for me that is going to be a big bomb for ESIC. The other one, of course, is the strengthening of collaborations. So in one of the meetings today, we talked about working with, institutions, infrastructure systems that are already in operation. People who understand the context, like if it's Africa region, we already have some institutions that have been facilitating some of these processes. So if we work with this and bring them on board, so that at the end of the day, we are holding our hands together, so ESIC will turn out to be that point that gets us stronger. It is now going to be like a strong cord that builds all of us in every activity or initiative that we have been undertaking. We know that we have this one strong cord that we are contributing to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, really, thank you very much. I'm sure everything that you've said really resonates with a lot of people in the space. So thank you for your time and your perspective.
Thank you too for having me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Welcome.